we're hearing that the Brooklyn Nets are being super aggressive about wanting to keep Mr. Nicolas Claxton, who, yes, he's having a down year this year in terms of, field goal percentage and his defensive, numbers, but he's still a really good rebounder, still when he's on, a very efficient scorer at the rim. He's basically a walking double-double. I mean, we've seen flashes where he can be like a 14 and 10 guy who gives you like 2 blocks a game, shoots 70% from the field, and he's shown sometimes that he can pass. He has that, athleticism and tweener body that allows him to switch on people. So I've been a very big fan of Nick Claxton, and we're hearing that he could get up to $20 million a year, maybe even $25 million. Like, I'm hearing a 4-year, $100 million deal for Nicolas Claxton. Yeah, might be a little tough to swallow, but he's a guy that has shown that he has value. Obviously, this hasn't been the most ideal year, but, they're rebuffing any sort of offers for Nicolas Claxton, as it seems like they're very keen on keeping him. So that's definitely where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Would you guys keep Nicolas Claxton for that amount of money, or would you just sell him for the highest bidder? Similar, because I feel like you could get a similar trade value for Nick Claxton as the Spurs got for Jakob Poeltl when he was sent back to the Raptors.
I definitely think this one about Nick Claxton is interesting, as we're hearing right here. Nick Claxton's more available, according to Mark Stein at the Stein line, than we initially thought leading up to the trade deadline, as Claxton supposedly wants somebody that more available than previously advertised. The question surrounding the Nets' long-term plans with Claxton, he's making $9.6 this year, as the center is set to become an unrestricted free agency. We know that Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, and Spencer Dinwiddie are also supposedly guys that are most likely to be traded before the deadline. This year, the Nets, they started the season out, I think it was like 13 and something. It was a solid start. Their 17th offensive rating at 115.8, 117 defensive rating, which is 18th, and they're minus 1.2, which is 19th net rating, and they're a league average 36.5% three-point shooting team. Now, they're led by 22 points per game. Mikal Bridges, who was supposed to be an all-star, just what we thought was going to carry over, didn't carry over. Cam Thomas is a legit 20 points per game scorer, but he's probably better off the bench role. Mikal's probably more suited to be a co-star, not the superstar. Cam Johnson, also a guy that we thought was going to be a 20 points per game scorer because of an amazing playoff series. It's a 14 points per game guy. He is who we thought he was. Spencer Dinwiddie is supposed to be, again, this is the media saying, is a guy who's a cancer guy. He's averaging 13 tonight. Nick Claxton's averaging 12.5 and 10.5. His defense is kind of fallen off the floor, and with cleaning the glass, if we look over here, it's not necessarily the prettiest. Let me confirm right here what I got with cleaning the glass. What we're seeing right here is, I'm not trying to disparage him, but I think the big problem is Nick Claxton it went down, and who's trading for it? It's 9.6. It's going to be a team that wants a backup center. Could the Clippers trade PJ Tucker and Bones Highland for Nick Claxton? I kind of think that's a good deal. If I'm the Nets, I think that's a good deal. I think that's a bargain deal. If you know you're going to lose Nick Claxton, don't lose the guy for nothing, okay? I think that's my big thing. You can't let the guy be gone for nothing. So let's see what we're hearing. The Athletic has this big board that they're doing, which honestly has been really good, and they've done a good job of putting it together. So I want to hear your guys' opinions on what you think of their opinions, I guess we could say, on the current situation with Nick Claxton. And I'm actually super surprised by the fact that he's a guy that they don't want to resign. I think the big problem with him is we just don't know what his value is, and I think that's the biggest thing, is trying to figure out what is Nicolas Claxton's value. He's a springy guy. He's playing good. When he plays good, he shot 70% from the field last year. Solid dude. When his stats are identical, but the efficiency went down this year is the big thing. And when you look at him, what are you realistically getting? You're getting a guy who's tall, lanky. He can switch out on guards. The effort level, sometimes you could say, is questionable. And this year, he went from his points per shot attempt went from being in the 92, 93rd percentile for back-to-back seasons to the 66th percentile, and his turnover rate is it went down, which is good. But if you look over here, defensive rebounding, his block rate's still, 92 percentile. Last year he was 98. But the steal went from 73rd percentile to 50 percentile. And again, the fact that I think he's became a better rebounder, but defensively he's just not where he was a year ago. And I thought he just was, literally 95 percentile back-to-back years effective field goal percentage. That's absurd. 94 percentile in 2-point percentage, and now he's 76 percentile in effective field goal percentage, and 70. Just, it's bad. And Daron Sharp's a dog. Okay, that's the big problem, guys. Daron Sharp is, when healthy, dude, this guy in 37 games, 16 minutes a night is averaging 7 rebounds, 7.5 points. It's like if he was playing 32 minutes a night, he would be averaging 15 points and 14 rebounds with 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing going on right there. So I'm on camp Daron Sharp right here. Look, give my man Daron minutes. Maybe trade Claxton for Wendell Carter.